Once upon a time, in a small, quiet village nestled between rolling hills, lived a poor old couple with their 12 sons. They cherished their children with all their hearts. But there was one small, or rather large problem. All 12 of them were hopelessly lazy. Not a single one wanted to lift a finger to help their aging parents. Every morning, their father would try to reason with them, his voice filled with a mix of love and exasperation. "My sons, you must understand, to eat, you must work. Life doesn't reward those who spend their days in bed." But his words were like water off a duck's back. The brothers would just stretch, yawn, and mumble, "Why bother working? The world is vast, and food is everywhere. We'll manage to eat without all that trouble." The old man could only sigh, his shoulders slumping a little more each day. Eventually, the years caught up with him, and his strength faded. He could no longer provide for his 12 grown sons. With a heavy heart, he gathered them and said, "My time for work is over. You must now venture out into the world and make your own way." So, the 12 brothers, a reluctant procession of indolence, set off together. They wandered from town to town, a curious sight for all who saw them. But their attitude never changed. If a kind farmer offered them a job, they'd wave it away, complaining of exhaustion. If a generous soul gave them a meal, they'd devour it in minutes and then be on their way, never looking back. One scorching afternoon, they stumbled upon a vast field where farmers were busy harvesting golden sheaves of rice. The sun beat down on their backs, but their spirits were high. The eldest brother scoffed, "Look at them, toiling away like fools. How ridiculous! Let's find a place to rest our weary bones." They continued a short distance until they found a cool, shady forest. It seemed like the perfect spot. There, they haphazardly constructed a small hut from branches and leaves. Their plan was to live a life of ease, surviving on wild fruits and the charity of passing travelers. But soon, even this minimal effort became too much of a burden. The thought of searching for berries or flagging down strangers was exhausting. They began to spend their entire days sleeping, their world shrinking to the four walls of their flimsy hut. Inevitably, their meager food supply ran out. The once placid laziness turned into irritable hunger. The hut filled with the sound of grumbling stomachs and even louder arguments. The eldest, trying to assert his authority, declared, "We can't go on like this. One of us has to go and find us some food." The second brother, ever the dreamer, had a different idea. "Why should we work when we can pray? Let's ask heaven to feed us. Surely, if heaven created us, it has a duty to provide for us." This idea was met with unanimous approval. It was, after all, the least strenuous option. So the 12 brothers knelt in a line, raised their hands dramatically towards the sky, and began to pray in a loud, demanding chorus. "Oh, magnificent heaven, we are your hungry children. Send us food, we beg you, so we don't have to endure the hardship of work." They waited, their eyes fixed on the clouds, expecting a feast to descend from the heavens. But heaven remained silent. No manna appeared. No roasted chickens fell from the sky. Days turned into a week. Their hunger grew from a dull ache to a sharp, gnawing pain. They became weaker, their arguments fading into pathetic whimpers. The youngest brother, who always had a bit more sense than the others, spoke up timidly. "Brothers, perhaps we should just try working, like everyone else." His suggestion was met with a chorus of angry shouts. "You fool, have you no pride? We are gentlemen of leisure, not common peasants." Scolded into silence, the youngest brother lay back down with the rest, their hope in a divine handout dwindling with every passing hour. Finally, when they were on the verge of collapsing from starvation, the eldest brother had a new, grand idea. "If heaven won't send food down to us, then we shall build a ladder and go up to heaven to ask for it ourselves." This sparked a flicker of excitement. It was a bold plan, and while it involved some work, the potential reward seemed infinite. Reluctantly, they began gathering long, sturdy bamboo poles from the forest. But their laziness was a deeply ingrained habit. After tying just a few knots, they'd declare it was time for a rest. The project dragged on for days, a testament to their profound lethargy. Eventually, against all odds, they constructed a towering ladder that disappeared high into the clouds. The eldest brother, puffing out his chest, began the ascent. But he had only climbed a small way before his arms and legs began to ache. He called down to the others, "I'm going to rest here for a bit. The next brother can take over." One by one, each brother started the climb, only to stop after a short distance, clinging to the rungs and complaining of fatigue. None of them had the stamina to even get close to the top. Then disaster struck. The rickety ladder, burdened by the weight of 12 lazy men, groaned, splintered, and then broke apart. With a tremendous crash, it came tumbling down, sending the brothers hurtling back to the earth. They landed in a tangled, groaning heap, bruised, battered, and hungrier than ever. Lying on the ground, the eldest brother muttered in defeat, "Perhaps heaven has no place for lazy men." The youngest brother's voice, soft but clear, finally said what they all needed to hear. "We were the fools. Heaven only helps those who are willing to help themselves." With newfound resolve, he slowly picked himself up. He walked to the nearby village and, for the first time in his life, asked a farmer for work in exchange for food. Seeing their youngest brother return that evening with a full stomach and a sense of purpose, the others watched in stunned silence. One by one, driven by their own desperate hunger, they followed his example. From that day forward, the 12 brothers learned the simple, profound truth they had avoided their whole lives. Hard work is the only true key to survival and satisfaction. And so the villagers would tell the story for generations to come. Ending with a wise little rhyme, the 12 lazy brothers tried to climb to the sky, but fell back to earth, for work made them cry. Thank you so much for joining us for this timeless tale. If you enjoyed the story, please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel for more fables and legends from around the world. We'll see you in the next one.